Hey y'all, wanted to share an awesome new update inside of ClickUp, and this one is the ClickUp Knowledge Management, and also combining that with ClickUp Brain to make this an even better feature inside of ClickUp. So, as you may know, you may have some sort of knowledge base or wiki in Google Drive or some other tool. However, bringing that into ClickUp to build that single source of truth is going to be very important. And this is one big step towards building that single source of truth, replacing different tools and making sure that your SOPs, your knowledge base, your internal wiki, whatever you want to call it, doesn't just collect dust in an external platform. Because we want to make sure that the process is living where the work gets done. So this is a huge update that is just the stepping stone to get us to building our knowledge base inside of ClickUp and connecting our work and documentation all in one place for the team to be more productive, more efficient, and make sure that they know and they're following the process for how things need to get done. So a big thing in this, again, what you're able to do is ClickUp is now giving the ability to create wikis, create knowledge bases here. They have templates as well as the ability to maybe take a previous doc that you have inside of ClickUp and label that as a wiki. A big benefit to this is going to be combining this with ClickUp AI. That's going to give you the ability to essentially prioritize that when someone's asking ClickUp Brain a question. So I want to walk you through all of that. So the first step here is when you actually go to create your first wiki. If you go to the docs center here, so you'll see I have the ability, I have all of my start with a template, my regular docs, my favorites created by me, my recent, but down here is to create your first wiki. Again, it's going to make it very easy to find that wiki for the rest of your team. So if they come here, you have a bunch of different templates, whether it's just a blank wiki, company home, knowledge base, or Team Hub. If I go and click this, you'll see what happens. Essentially, it's going to go create that wiki for me, build me the template, and then all I have to do is fill in my company's information. It's super, super nice. As you can see, there's a lot of details in this to really make this process way faster if you have nothing like this right now. So as you can see, we have welcome, what's new, mission and vision, core values, employee handbook, office information, stuff for certain departments, growth and career, so on and so forth. A lot of different information that'll help you fill this out and not have to do all the formatting and things like that. So very great update here just by having these wiki templates. First of all, in addition, if you want to be able to import into this as well, so you can import from other systems. If maybe you have some knowledge base or wiki somewhere else, you can get that directly into ClickUp. So you'll want to evaluate that as well to see if it's going to work for you and your team. In addition, what you're able to do with this is instead of maybe creating a template just like that, if I do have a document, if you've seen in my previous videos, I like to build a knowledge base here at the everything level so that the whole team is able to come here and see this. It's very easy to find, very easy to know where it is. Because it's at the everything level, it's also pinned as a view at the top here. So anytime someone comes in to ClickUp, this will probably be really the first thing they see if they're going to the everything level. But if I come here, if I want to turn this into a wiki, all I need to do is come over here to the far right to my doc settings, click on that and mark doc as a wiki just like that. As you'll see now it has that blue check mark, which is very visible. And then if I go back into my docs, we're going to see it right here as well. A few other things in this is just basic doc features and functionalities within this that's already really been there. But as you can see here, if you want to have some versioning to this as well to know sort of what happened over time, maybe there was an update that shouldn't have happened, we can see all that history inside of this view as well, which is super helpful, especially if you have a bunch of team members on there working. One other feature here is also the ability to sort of pare down some permissions. So if I want someone to just be able to view a certain doc or edit a certain doc or just be able to comment, I can pare those down as well. The one weak point right here still to date is not being able to just share specific docs within this knowledge base. So I'm not able to necessarily come here and just share this blog post with a certain team. So if I wanted to, I would have to sort of build maybe an operational, or maybe it's a finance type knowledge base or a wiki for the finance team. Because if I don't want everyone to see those finance documents, I'd have to go create a whole fresh new document, not living in here, to be able to pare down those permission settings. So this is going to be great for really a knowledge base that the whole team can go and find, but not necessarily paring it down to specific departments or specific roles that only need to see certain documents. It'll be a little bit harder to do that, but not the end of the world, because you can go and build those maybe at certain spaces or folders, depending on what's best for that specific department, role, or team, or whatever you're looking at. So that's great. In addition to this, there's also your ability, if you are working on this with other team members, you can easily collaborate on this by just commenting here, leaving a message. I'd always recommend you mention whoever you're trying to talk to. That way you'll have a great record of sort of what's happening. What are we specifically talking about? So if you want to highlight text, you can leave a comment, say maybe this title is not correct, or this a certain text in here is not correct, or you can just leave a comment here on this doc, just like this, if it's not at something specific. And you'll see all the history here too. So it's very easy to communicate and collaborate here with the rest of the team. So now the big part of this that I find super exciting, again, is being able to pair this with the ClickUp Brain. So what this is going to do when I actually label something as a wiki inside of ClickUp is when we go to actually search or ask AI something, it's going to prioritize those documents. So you might have a bunch of meeting notes or something in ClickUp, but it's going to prioritize the ones that you say is a wiki, so that it's going to search through those first to find answers maybe that you're looking for. So if your team right now is asking you a ton of questions, where do I find this? What do I do about this? And you have it all documented, you can always send them the document, but why not have ClickUp Brain do that work for you so that your team is way faster? They can get instant answers, find the documents that they're looking for, and not have you as the bottleneck when they're going and looking for this information. So all I need to do is, if I have basically all my documentation, my whole knowledge base built out into ClickUp, I build that single source of truth and get everything into here. I can then come up here to Ask AI. I can go over to asking AI something. So maybe the question that someone asks is, when should we communicate inside of Slack, maybe versus ClickUp? But let's just say, when should, if I can type, we communicate in Slack? Just like that. So what they're doing, they're going to ask AI the question. And if we have documentation on that in our knowledge base, it's going to kind of search through that, because we have this labeled as wiki, and it's going to give me information based off of our documentation. In addition, I can also get it to send the document. So if someone also wants to find, okay, that's great, you gave me sort of the summarized answer, but where do I actually find this information? You can go ahead and ask for the document as well and get that to click into that. So I'll show you right here. It actually gave it to us right away. Sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we need an additional question, but as you can see here, it's going to give me that answer. I can click directly in my wiki to that information, and we can find it right here. So that way, again, you're not being a bottleneck for the rest of your team to find this information. As long as we build that single source of truth, it's all going to be in one place. And I always say, because you're watching this video, the most important piece of this, if you are building all this out, taking the time, the process needs to live where the work gets done. Yes, it's great to have all of this in one tool, so I'm not having to kind of switch from tool to tool to tool, but I also want to make sure, hey, I take any of these documents that I have in here. As an example, maybe we have a blog post as a typical deliverable that we do. I want to make sure either A, I'm linking out to a specific section or block link within this document, or I'm copying the whole URL at the top here and then taking that and putting it into the task where someone's actually writing that blog post. So as if I give you an example here, if I go to my delivery, actually, let's go to our process library. I'm down here at the bottom. Task templates, we'll go into our inbound list. We'll find our blog post template. And I need to make sure that I come here, and any task that references this blog post, that's our documentation. That's the how-to to actually do it. I need to make sure that that's actually linked to the document. So if I want to put that in there, all I got to do is Command V right here. I can create a bookmark, or I can just have it like that. As you'll see, this is linking directly to this blog post SOP. That way, anytime someone gets assigned to this task, they know what they need to do and how they need to do it, because this is the process. So the process lives where the work gets done. It's all super important. So if I can give you a few pieces of advice here, just make sure you build that single source of truth, get all your documentation, everything into ClickUp. That's going to help make your ClickUp brain that much smarter, help your team find things way easier, and just make sure that your team is more productive, more efficient. They're following your process, and you're not the bottleneck when they have a question, and your SOPs, all of your documentation will not collect dust. But that's all I have for you today. Hopefully this is a helpful video to show you sort of this new ClickUp Knowledge Management, this new feature that they just released. It's very exciting. I'm pumped for it. I hope you are too. And with that, I'll see you again next time.
Can I make no more? I can't replace it. Trying hard just not to waste it. It's about time. Yeah, it's about time.